is a fighting game coming out for the PS3, stylish 2D fighting system.
From the makers of Melty Blood, if you know that name.
Yeah. If you don't,
I know
well,
that name.
that's
You
probably
should
yeah.
know that
We know
name.
you know that name.
You
Shut
would know
up,
that name.
Jorb.
Counter, counter, counter.
Counter.
Hold up, Adachi. Republic Remastered, a stealth action game that explores the perils of the government. No. Intense, thrilling, and no, not tropical. Topical. You palm trees, coconuts.
Wait, didn't we talk about that Vita game that's coming out that's like Jungle Battle? Is that what we're getting at here?
Okay, no. The perils of government surveillance in the internet age. You receive a desperate call from Hope, a mysterious woman trapped in.
Oh. Hello? I just lost everything. Oh no. I'm all alone. Skype? Skype is not responding. No! God damn it, HCR. Ah! Oh, anyway, let me go on a little bit about something I actually know about that Undernight game. Cool story. It's Undernight in birth, and that does sound weird, and the devs realized that, but I guess because they're Japanese, what they wanted it to be was called Undernight in verse. But because the Japanese doesn't work that way, they got the name and the spelling wrong when they registered the web domain. And when they realized this, they'd already paid for the domain for the webpage, and they were just like, you know what? Whatever, go with it. So yeah, that's how the game got its name, I think. Call newscast group. But that did get released, I think, a couple months ago in Japan.
Okay.
Oh, hey, there you go. I'm hosting this. I think we might have lost 6.
Rip in peace, 6.
Everything was going so well.
Good evening.
Hello, Mjolnir.
I heard a herp derp. I hear a jorm. I think I saw Spycrab, but I think that might have just been Skype messing up. And still waiting on 6, who... I wonder if he realized he's lost his internet, or if he's just sitting in his room talking.
I've done that with my mic muted
Yeah.
for like 15 minutes before anyone told me anything. But wait, I can't really hear you. What?
Apparently, those UFC or the MMA streams that Twintail has been doing, the first 2, he didn't realize that the Microsoft Audio streaming service thing didn't capture the game audio at all, and didn't capture his mic at all. So those 2 streams that were like 3 hours long each, he was talking the entire time. Nobody heard
They're
a
probably
damn
wondering
thing.
why he had no feedback.
Yeah, why is everyone so quiet?
That's awesome.
Let me see here. Since I'm streaming this wonderful fireplace, I can't particularly bring up the news that well. Let me just bring it up on a different computer then. I guess I'll start with one news article that I actually have heard about. Image Epoch, or Image Pooch, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's a Japanese developer of various games like Fate Stay Night, CCC, and the BlackRock shooter game on PSP. Apparently they might be in financial trouble. And they have their a highly anticipated title called Stella something or other planned to come out. But
Hey, sorry.
Oh,
I was
hey,
just
there you
hosting
go.
a call, and the entire house took power surge. Obviously, there's been feet of snow in the last couple of weeks.
Well, anyway, we haven't talked about much. I'm hosting the call now.
Yeah, that's good. Good. So I was in the middle of talking about Republic Remastered. So it's apparently the remastered one. All right. Well, enough of that. What the fuck? Get back in the news. Rugby 15. Yes. Take the helm of official teams and clubs from the most prestigious leagues to play rugby.
Yeah, I love rugby, but I'm not playing a video game of it.
No?
Yeah.
No.
That's too bad. They would probably use as many fans as possible.
I mean,
I'm
how would you even play like a rugby video game? Sounds really awkward.
Well, I mean,
I've
they
never
make football
played
games.
one.
I want to
guess
get
so.
the Sepak Takraw game that came out on DS.
Oh,
Because
is that
Sepak Takraw is a thing.
the soccer game
Yeah,
that they
the
had in Nintendo?
volleyball that you play with your feet. Yeah, that's Sepak Takraw.
There was, because remember there was that RPG and like the special effects and stuff that was at the Nintendo Direct for the download on the 3DS. That was like a fun one. Crinkle Crusher, an action castle defense game. Oh man, I'm already turned off. For the PlayStation Vita. There's so many tower defense things that just like
Those games.
I think I would like it better if it was Kringle Cast and if you were playing as Santa and you had to defend the North Pole against children.
children.
I guess
Children
Why
all the
children?
bad kids trying to get the presents
you
of
have
the
to-
good
you have to-
kids.
You have to protect it against Burgermeister Meisterburger in his land of no toys, and he's like mounting an attack on Santa's workshop.
If we could do it in the same style as those movies, I'd be down for that. Let's copyright that one.
then
They
he
stole
busts
zombie
through- yeah,
parkour.
like
They're
he
not gonna
copyrighted-
steal this one.
Yeah, they're not gonna steal their parkour zombies. No, and then the door busts down, and it's Lee Majors. There's a back door, Santa. You gotta get out of here. And he's like, "Oh, but this is one Santa going through the front door. Listen, anything can happen to me, but if something happens to you, then the whole world goes." And you know, Lee, you've been a good boy this year.
Oh god.
When terrorists attack.
Alrighty.
No, it was this old movie, Scrooged. I don't know if you guys know it. Bill Murray. It's a great movie. We watch it every Christmas. It's one of my favorite Christmases.
It has that guy
That's
that
one of
does a
their-
really awkward voice.
That's one of
Yeah.
those. What?
The guy with the comedian that does the really awkward voice. He's a big part
Bobcat
of that.
Goldthwait.
Yeah.
I watched a stand-up by him. He doesn't actually sound like that. That's something he does.
He's very good at it.
Yes, he is very good. Yeah.
Video games.
Mr. Cross. We can't show that on TV. People are gonna get annoyed. Well, it's a little bit late to be getting this kind of feedback. That's because this is the first time we've seen it. Anyway, that's a good movie. You should watch it, I would say, but it's not video games. But in it,
It's not
there is-
Kringlecast.
yeah, in it there is a movie that they pitch, which is like terrorists attack Santa's workshop, and it's pretty good.
ISIS is out to destroy Christmas.
With Lee Majors. Yeah, exactly. It's like guys in like black, full on black suits, and they're like, attacking, and like Santa Mrs. Claus like opens up a cupboard, and there's just like lines of guns, and all the elves are like like pulling them out for defense. it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a good movie. Block and Load, a 5v5 team-based online first-person shooter published by Jagex.
I think we got to see a beta stream of that a while ago. It didn't look bad.
If you know who that is, those are the people that made RuneScape.
Oh, they actually made the classic RuneScape free to play again.
Yeah, well, they made the classic RuneScape, yeah.
Yeah.
Free to play. Block and
I'm
Load
actually
coming to...
playing that right
so
now. It's pretty good.
It's
still.
it's just got a date of February 2015, so it may or may not be out. Europa Universalis 4's package extra content El Dorado coming out in a few days. Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1 on PlayStation 3 and on Xbox One. That's a weird.
Okay. Neat.
That's probably on more systems. Let me go find it. Yeah, PS4, Xbox 360, and PC. Resident Evil Revelations 2 Episode 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd inquire about the story and all that, but I don't think anyone knows what's going on in Resident Evil nowadays.
Nope. No,
Nah.
nothing
Really.
I'm sure
There's
there's
zombies.
it's at least it's not made by Traveler's Tales. Like I would.
Here's the story: zombies coming up from hell. Shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the head. Let's see no cutscene. Press A.
There's like this evolving storyline, and like Barry will remember this. Alrighty, that's
I'd
pretty much
play that.
it for video games coming. Yeah, you. Those are kind of all the important big names. So let's move on to news. Let's take a look over here. Kanye West is making a video game.
I hope it's as good as 50 Cent Blood in the Sand.
Oh, that game
Yeah.
was super legit.
That was
Well,
decent.
That game was legit. It was surprisingly
Yeah.
legit.
Yo, this game is legit, bruh.
It was pretty
Well,
Bitch
if
stole my
Kenny is making
skull.
a shooter, it will be a
They got
third-person
the
shooter,
blood
so
on
you
the
can actually, so you can actually see him.
Yeah.
of course.
This is a good article. After conquering the music world and the fashion world, rapper Kanye West is taking on his next big challenge: video games. West was on
Clearly,
Power 105.1's The Breakfast Club radio show, recently discussing his next album and his collaboration with Adidas, when he briefly mentioned he's working on a video game based on one of his songs. For the song Only One, and the idea is that it's my mother going through the gates of heaven, and you have to bring her to the highest gates by holding her to the light. We've been working on it for like 6 months. What?
that seems
Whoa,
like
whoa!
a wild game.
That's
No,
not what I would have expected at all.
No.
That's wild, actually. Whoa, like back up a second. He's making like a Journey, like weird, like out there artsy type of game. Like,
What the shit?
But it sounds a really simple concept, like really a mobile game, nothing more.
yeah, he says
Yeah.
he says he didn't say what platforms or who's developing with. If it comes to mobile, he's going to face some stiff competition from his wife, Kim Kardashian, whose successful Kim Kardashian Hollywood mobile game estimatedly generated as much as $200 million through in-app purchases.
God damn it.
Fuck me.
Oh my god.
Well, you
Call-
know,
he has to one-up her even there.
maybe it
You made
should
a
be.
successful video game, you can't one-up me.
Maybe it shouldn't be him guiding his mother through to heaven. Maybe it should be, guiding video games through to heaven, because video games are dead.
No, they go to hell.
You go to hell and you die.
They go to hell where they just show the Tomb Raider movie over and over and over. It's like, shouldn't
Nah,
this
they have
turn up the
plenty
heat
of,
if you like.
they have plenty of video game movies.
I
I mean, any
Wow.
who
Call
evolves
of
filmography
Kanye, Call of
is-
Kanye, The Dark Times on Earth. What is that? Is that racist? I don't know. Get out of here, Pelazino777, with your racist bullshit. Maybe it'll be a fish stick simulator. Aha!
Hell, you get all Uwe Boll's movies with commentary track, and you can't shut them down.
Give me the booty. I want the booty. Looking for the booty. Give me the booty. The entire game. All right. Apparently we are living in the 21st century. All right. Moving on. It's all right. It's a Kanye song. Don't worry.
6 listens to Kanye West unironically.
I don't actually listen to it. I had to sit in the. It's the advertising song for Forza 3 or Forza 4, and I had to sit there and listen to it every 15 or 20 minutes every time the GameStop TV looped.
Oh,
God.
Yeah, that was back when I was working for GameStop.
Holy shit.
So, well, yeah, no, as part of my integration with quote unquote regular people, I need to know those types of things
You
so I
mean,
can drop
torture, right?
so I can drop fresh content and make references that they'll get. You know, you need to know your audience when you're pitching your stuff. Oh, here's a good quote here. Let me look this one up. See if this is a quotable quote or if this is a professional opinion. Let's see. Ex-Battlefield director, lead designer David Goldfarb has said that development process for big budget games restricts the creativity. He says, I think the risk reward for companies that can spend the marketing money and have that big successful franchises, for them it's worth laying out that investment. But for people who don't have that kind of capital, you're not really in a practical success loop. Triple A is the equivalent of the 1% right. Oh, shut up. Oh my gosh. Never mind. Alright, don't worry about it.
oh, I think I see what point he might be trying to make. Like, if you have a AAA title and you have to.
You have to have the money already to just market the shit out of it and to just make it as like glamorous and just
You have to appeal to the lowest common denominator.
Just splatter and just noises and like just images
Explosion.
flying at you just so fast and just ah.
You can't be too creative
Marketing
or out
no
there
more.
because that's not gonna sell copies.
Yeah, and if you don't have the kind of money to be able to push that, then you're not going to be able to do it. Last summer, after leaving his position at payday developer Overkill Software, he said that he's abandoning AAA for the same type of reason. Creative director of Just Cause 3, developer Avalanche Studios, says that AAA development is unhealthy and unprofitable. I think it's profitable. It's definitely profitable. I think that's not something you can argue. Hideo Kojima has shared Goldfarb's sentiment last year, saying it's hard to maintain creative freedom when working on such a large scale. So he says, I think there's a spot between the $100 and $200 million AAA games and the $1 million indie games. If you have $1 million to pour into an indie game, I don't think that's an indie so much anymore.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Maybe it's indie for Kojima to only have $1 million.
No, that's what Goldfarb said.
Oh, okay.
An indie, like, that's gotten so. It's like
Fucked.
indie just means somebody you may not have heard of. Like,
Somebody you probably haven't even heard of before.
yeah, well, not like that.
Like Kojima, right, guys? Like, what the fuck?
Like
Remember
Hideo
the EA indie bundle?
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah. That had, like, yeah. Don't even worry
I actually
about
got it, but yeah.
that. Earlier this week, Goldfarb announced a new Stockholm-based four-person studio called The Outsiders, working on an untitled role-playing game aimed to launch for PC and possibly other systems later. I think... Now, I'm not actually in the industry, so take this with a grain of salt, but the shift of, like, having money and bringing in money preemptively to then make a game, and then you spend, like, and then game sales and stuff keep you afloat for a bit, but, like, people already gave you the money for the game before the game was even made, and that kind of shifts the expectation, like, oh, well, if you make a good game and then you sell it, you'll have the capital then to start working on another game. But if you get it all up front and you use it just to make your game, you're not going to get that rollover that you're expecting.
Yeah.
Like, and planning for that and expecting that is what caused 38 Studios to crash, which was that they got in the money, they spent, with a loan, and then they spent a ton of money on it, and then made the game, and then started working on an MMO, thinking they would stay afloat from game sales and stuff. And then it just, like, no. Like
That didn't
the
happen.
business of like anticipating and like expecting money is causing a lot of problems, I think. And like that's a business model, but when you're a public company, you have to make those types of guesses so that shareholders will still be interested in your company and you will still have like interest at all, which sucks. But obviously for private companies, that's a much better deal because then you can just make what you want, like Valve. You can be huge and you have all this capital running, and then you can take your time making fucking video games and never release Half-Life 3. Um,
Never, ever, ever.
yeah, I could feel it getting a little bit of serious talk, so I wanted to get us back towards towards something to keep the people.
But economy
Yeah.
is interesting. To me.
Geared toward the joke. I mean, obviously, Valve is a publisher, and they have a storefront, and that's way different than like an indie company. But you need to be able to develop an income, and like a regular income, in order to be able to set it up, rather than just like asking the donations and stuff. Unless you just want to be a one game, one and out. Like if you want to make it as a studio, I don't think depending upon a Kickstarter or you usually want to have like a publishing deal with a big publisher, which that also sucks, but you got to make your way up in order to be able to get that sort of setup going on. If you want creative freedom, just make one game and then that's it. Like that's
Make one game, kickstart it. There you go.
Yeah, and there you go, and that's released, and now you're there, and then anything you make from then on is just profit, like, and then work off of that a bit.
See if you can go someplace else.
Yeah,
See if you
maybe.
can work from there.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Let's take a look at some more news. Blizzard is exploring Diablo 3 microtransactions, but not yet in the West.
Yeah,
Interesting.
like Asia stuff.
Yeah, there was apparently data located in the next patch, and people were digging into it.
Microtransactions. No, I'm pretty sure I don't want.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
it's update testing.
We just have to
Published a
accept
list on
it.
its forums with some features that are buried in the patch files. Makes it clear that these new features will not apply to all regions, interestingly enough. Microtransactions are something only intended for players in other markets. The list of features that will not apply to Americas or Europe, apparently, is a new currency called Platinum, timed experience boosts, new cosmetic items including wings, non-combat pets, and character portraits, new UI interface that references all the information, references to stash space, and character slot expansions.
Yeah, I was talking with a friend about that. He plays Diablo a lot, and he was like, well, all the things mentioned would have been really nice if he could fucking pay for them. He would. Because, getting more character slots in a game where you're invested thousands of hours is probably a good thing to have as an option.
Yeah, probably. But paying for them?
Well, that's today,
I mean,
I guess.
they have to make their money, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
Well, you already pay for the game.
Sure,
well, that's
but
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the initial purchase, but the continued income is what is like now that's the thing, is that making $60 for your game just isn't enough anymore, apparently. Which
No,
I can
it's not
kind
enough.
of
It's just that
I
they
can-
want to milk it.
I can kind of get that.
Milk the franchise for all it's worth.
Because comparatively speaking, and from if you adjust for inflation, I mean, N64 games were something like $80, and that was like 10 or 15 years ago before the dollar, tanked. So like, that's a significant difference. Like $60 is actually relatively cheap compared to older video games and what they used to cost, and then adjusting for inflation. But people
though
are so
you could
scared.
argue the market is much bigger now, though.
Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Is that whereas back then $1 million was kind of a big deal. These days, sometimes you need $1 million just to like break even. But you have that expectation that there are millions more people playing. So yeah, I guess that's a valid point.
Yeah, I mean,
especially right now
production
at the end
itself
of
is not really the problem. It's just development and then
plus
distribution,
these-
obviously.
Yeah, plus these days when you go digital and people buy it right on your system, like that's not nearly as much of a cost as manufacturing a cartridge
Exactly.
and putting it in a box and then marketing it and sending it out and
And actually printing a game guidebook that games used to have back in the day.
manual. Yeah,
Yeah, the
no,
manuals,
no, forget
including
that.
the Home Improvement game on I think Super Nintendo. That the manual was in fact 1 page long that said real men don't use manuals.
That's pretty good.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I was surprised that bought Majora's Mask 3D and opened up and there was nothing there. There wasn't even a Nintendo Club Nintendo code. Oh no,
Oh man,
it was awful. Um, oh man,
lame of the year.
yeah. Um,
Super Boy MMO.
Star Citizen continues to. Oh man, is that even gonna ever release?
man.
It feels like they just keep adding more and more and more.
Sure it will, eventually.
Well, no, they're up to like 20. No, they're up to $73 million in crowdfunding. Like they are on their way to becoming an actual AAA title.
It
Like-
is really like
But
crazy amount from crowdfunding.
and it's just they keep adding new and new features. I feel like they just keep wanting to make it the perfect game, and it'll just never come out. Like,
They'll just disappear
It'll be
one
the
day
perfect
with
game
all
that
the money.
it'll be the perfect game that nobody will be able to play. Because they keep like, oh, whoa, what if we do this too? That's that's a good thing. That's exciting. That's fun. It's just funny to think about that.
I don't know. Have they provided evidence that they're actually doing any of this stuff?
Yes, the
Oh,
upcoming
okay.
Space Simulator Star Citizen explain how the mining occupation will work in the game. Mining presents players with a variety of challenges requiring skill and intelligence, whereas mindless repetition of a task and idle drudgery are explicitly avoided. Says
Sure.
Tony Zurovec, director of Star Citizen's Persistent Universe.
Well, I
It
mean,
says
like,
there are no aspects of mining that allow a player to simply press a button and wait for without concern for a result, or that require players to perform an action repeatedly without some element of thought or dexterity coming into play. The most valuable minerals in the game will often reside in dense asteroid fields, so pilots will have to avoid compressed pockets of gas, volatile materials, and seismic vibrations. Combat isn't inherent to mining endeavors, but if you're carrying valuable cargo, you might be an easy target for players who just want to pirate and steal your stuff.
Oh god.
You can work as a freelance miner, finding and selling materials as you see fit to take best advantage of the market, or on contract and agreeing to trade certain materials for a set fee. Mining operations itself is divided into multiple roles, which either other players or hired NPCs can fill. There's the self-explanatory position of the pilot, the scan operator in
all
charge
right,
of
okay. It's
launching probes that find materials.
This is all a cool story, bro, but talk is cheap. Is there any evidence that this is actually being implemented? That's
Read
what I
more
mean.
about the mining occupation in greater details on this game's website. Let's open up the website.
How do I know that they're not just promising features and then not doing any of them and just gotta take my money?
Well, you don't. Too bad.
They have in-game screenshots. Oh shit.
Oh wait, okay, then they have.
I
Here,
will
take a
eventually
look.
give them money when the game comes out.
Yeah, seriously, Zafa wants to hear about this shit. Look at this. It's got the
Yeah.
little heads-up display on the side. All right, so pilot, a scan operator in charge of launching probes that find the materials, a beam operator in charge of extracting the materials, then the cargo operator who crushes them and stores them properly. And ships will have to need their own ships that have their own refineries built onto the ship would also need a refinery operator to manage them. So you could, initially like, oh, I will, go out and you have to have all these pieces on your ship just to get it to work properly, or you hire NPCs to take up part of the jobs and then you just do your bit. But that gets you less money. So eventually you can work your way up from becoming like self-sustaining, and you could just be a miner and you could do like really well and like start up become like this huge,
I wonder how they'll go about handling the hiring of NPCs. Microtransactions?
No.
Oh wait,
You can
right,
hire an
you
ace
pay-
miner for $5.
Like you
No,
pay
in-game
real
money
money for your
purchase-
ship.
What they do is you'll have in-game money and then you'll purchase the NPC thing, or you can purchase tons amounts of in-game money with dollars or something. I don't actually know that part, They don't mention that part.
They don't want to talk about it.
No, we can
Makes
assume.
me sad already.
Don't. Yeah,
I'm
come on.
I'm sorry, the current state of the video game industry has made me jaded and hateful.
This is not. But this is not a triple A. Like this isn't
It's
EA
getting
or
there, you
Activision.
said.
This isn't EA or Activision or anything like this. This is. Look at this. This is freaking okay. The pilot, of course, navigates the ship. While this sounds straightforward in practice, it's often challenging as impacting an asteroid can seriously damage a player's ship. The asteroids with the most attractive resource compositions are often deep within a concentrated field. Pilots have to make the final call as to which individual asteroid warrants the most immediate attention, often choosing from an array of possible targets identified via the scanning process. They also determine whether to remain in a fixed position around an asteroid through the excavation or adopt a more active role, graduating, rotating around a selected asteroid, giving the beam operator a better opportunity to find more and extract valuable pockets of the buried ore. Many asteroids are filled with dangerous materials and under the right conditions can blow the asteroid to pieces, increasing the value of a good pilot that can quickly navigate to a safe distance when the warning time is minimal. The scan operator is responsible for injecting remote material analyst packages into asteroids that, upon success, immediately begin sending telemetry data back to the pilot and scanning operator, informing them as to the asteroid's precise material composition. Depending upon the ship and its associated hardware, anywhere from several dozen to hundreds of RMAP-equipped, manually guided missiles may reside upon a mining vehicle. Like, this is nuts. This is excellent.
Okay.
This is
This
a
will
really,
be released as soon as Half-Life 3 is.
It's really.
Eventually, Lone. Eventually.
Again, yeah, it does sound incredible, but also from
I'm too
what
much
I
of a
gather,
skeptic.
you pay for the actual ship with real money.
Yeah, what was
can.
that? You
That's-
can? Okay.
You can if
can,
you
but-
want.
Okay, but can you also buy them for regular
In-game
cash?
I would assume
Like
in-game
regular
money,
credits,
yes, you-
in-game money. Still, that sounds very pay to win. Like, dish out, as Blaze said, £12,000
Well,
for a
Christ.
not
huge
everybody's
ship.
gonna do that, and then there's gonna be like, you're gonna have different servers, and you have different areas. Like it's
Still, again, basically,
that just-
the people who pay more will have better stuff right away.
It's gonna
That
be like
sound-
Eve again, whereas if you pay, you will win every time. You're gonna have the biggest fleet and the biggest ship, and there's no way you can lose, basically.
Because you have that right off the bat. If you pay more, if you want to pay for a simple ship and say build your way up, you will still encounter the problem of having all those players with those huge ass powerful ship
I don't know
probably
how
stealing
many-
all your income.
I think comparatively, the amount of people who are willing to drop $15,000 on an
It's
in-game.
pretty huge.
I'm
in
not
games
necessarily
like
saying
this,
15,000. Even 300, something like that, compared to
That's crazy
someone
still.
who would just pay.
So so
Okay.
this ship says the Aurora CL. Let's see. The completionist package lets you have all ships announced up to 2014, plus a couple of future ones. All limited ships and limited flare come with an extra copy of themselves. The package also comes with hangar decorations and 20,000 UEC starting money for the game launch. So it includes the Aurora CL, Aurora ES, Aurora LN, Aurora LX, Aurora LX. Like there's a ton of these things. So there's cargo ships, personal transports, fighter, cargo, versatile. So from what? So I mean, obviously it's going to come with cargo space, maximum crew, power plant, maneuvering thrusters, primary engines, shield, and then additional equipment, which
Yeah,
is
stuff.
a jump scanner and a big box model thing. So it looks like you might still have to actually purchase like items for them. Like you'd still have to put on weapons. Looks like.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no,
you
here we
got
go.
plenty of credits, I guess.
Well, yeah, you did get plenty of starting credits for it, though. That's true. Okay, no, here it says the Aurora CL has a 2X S2 2X9 series longsword, one of them, and a 1X S2. Interesting. So it looks like they may have, yeah, okay. Fully loaded and stuff. It's going to be crazy. I think the amount of players. I think the amount of players that are paying $15,000 versus the amount of players who are trying to work their way up will make a good balance of like huge people right off the bat versus tons of tiny little people. And that sort of like off balance, I kind of like the idea that if you're going to be a little guy and you're going to be mining around and you're trying to do it on your own and make your way up, that there's going to be huge assholes that want to take everything away from you. Like, that seems kind of like...
Six Axis is a fan of the 1%.
I think that makes for good gameplay. I think that makes for like, you can do it and you can try on your own. Just beware, you have to be ready that big people want to take your shit. Like, that seems like that gives you something you have to watch out for. And like, you want to build first on like fast engines so you can start to try and get away, or you choose to like work for a company, you get your money piled up, and then you purchase one of these things, and now you have a decent chance, and that's your own way of working up. Like, there's options here. It sounds really cool.
It sounds like EVE Online, honestly.
Yeah, well, except with
does.
slightly more exciting and like...
Well, I guess. But with all the corporations and stuff, that's just it's EVE.
Yeah, that's EVE Online. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. No thanks. Not much like
Spreadsheets game is what / yawn Z resident sleeper, all that good stuff. All right.
Yeah.
It seems kind of cool. I don't know. I like that.
There is potential here, yes.
I like the idea.
We will see how it turns out, if it ever turns out.
It's an indie company that had a base idea, and people just kept giving them more and more and more and more money, and they decided, okay, so let's do more and more and more features, which is a cool idea. Plus, I want there to actually be a successful Kickstarter.
For once, please.
There already has been. I guess FTL was a Kickstarter. Wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Skullgirls, but it wasn't on Kickstarter.
Yeah. The Darkest Dungeons looks really good. Anyway, so I like to see that type of thing, and that sounds like a really cool game, and I would totally play that if like it comes out. But I haven't invested in it yet, so I'm fine.
Yeah. Again, as you said, it sounds cool, but I'm not investing in it. They have plenty of money already.
Yeah, it's not like my freaking, $10, $15, $20 is going to make a dent in the $73 million. All right.
With that kind of money, the game better be spectacular.
Yeah, and if it does...
Spectacular.
No words.
I'm about to break into song.
I like that one.
Yeah, I tend
so
to do this.
exciting, the audience was on a chair. So delighting, it will run for 50 years.
The game will play for 50 years.
The game will take 50 years.
V2, the musical.
Yeah, we do the musical all the time. We post it. Alright. Settlers of Catan may get a movie, apparently.
Wait, what?
The Perfect Storm and an Air Force One producer buys board games movie and TV rights for Settlers of Catan. I've been wanting to see an adaptation of the game for years, ever since my Catan-obsessed college-age kids have introduced me to it, says Gail Katz in a statement. The island of Catan is a vivid, visual, exciting, and timeless world with classic themes and moral challenges that resonate today. There's a tremendous opportunity.
For a tabletop game.
Well, no. Okay, so you have different explorers, and you're landing on this place, and you're populating it, and you're trying to mine it for resources and fight out other people, but you're also trying to establish trade routes, and you're trying to, there's
sounds like every other strategy game out there.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like a strategy game, and it sounds like you've got diplomacy, and you're arguing with people and real people, and you're swapping and trading, and like this, there could be a real Game of Thrones type of thing going on for this tiny little island. I could see it happening. It's much better than Battleship, that's for damn sure.
Well, yeah. I was about to bring that up.
Battleship was just like, so here's some ships, and and you blow them up, and then you have to make a whole scenario out of that sort of idea. That seems weird.
Aliens.
I mean, there are some games that looks like they could, make a movie out of. Twilight Struggle, for example, probably already has plenty of movies that are similar to it, because that was about the Cold War. I think, I think it could happen. It could be a thing.
Custer's Revenge movie when... Pitch it. Fund it.
Trademark it. Fuck it. Let's take all of them. Oh, man. No, I'm excited for Star Citizen. Don't worry. All right. Diablo 3's next new patch brings new legendary goblins and bounties.
Yay.
Rather than just in classes. Yay!
Yay! Because we all need more of that shine and bling and instant gratification in our games. Yay!
For players interested in legendary items, 15 new legendary items are being added in a combination of existing items with new legendary items. Adventure mode is a recipient of more than 20 new bounties spread across Acts 2, 4, and 5. All acts will be receiving a new type of bounty. Exploration that essentially boils down to exploring an area to find NPCs who need assistance with their enemies who need to be slain. Nephilim and Greater Rifts are getting new layouts, which should help to avoid the experience of running through those from becoming too familiar.
That's
Act 1's new rifts include those based on Act 1's Festering Woods, Act 2's Stinging Winds, and Act 3 Fields of Slaughter. Matt's layouts will be randomized, further mixing up the experience of completing rifts.
Those layouts, people are gonna love. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Continue.
3 new types of treasure goblins. One that splits into smaller goblins. One that has allies to protect it, and the one that sounds as if it drops a lot of coins, the Gilded Baron. Gelatinous Sire, which splits into bits and smaller bits. The Insufferable Miscreant that has allies. Lastly, aside from a change in the format used for the game's files that will only impact PC and Mac version, Blizzard is adding a cosmetics window will allow you to take cosmetic-only items with you into the field without having to take up room into the inventory. Interesting. That sounds like that's pretty helpful, actually.
Yep.
Twitch plans for a conference in San Francisco this September. First ever TwitchCon in Moscow. You get an extra hour in the ball pit. Today, during a live stream presentation, video streaming site Twitch announced that it will hold its own. It's funny, we're holding this on Hitbox. TwitchCon will take place September 25th through 26th at the Moscow Convention Center in San Francisco. Moscone. That's what it looks like. This is the same venue.
Yeah.
Moscone. This is the same venue that hosts the Game Developers Conference. Okay. Details regarding ticket sales and panel submissions, as well as an official schedule, will be shared later. Trademark. Soon. Interesting. Kind of. Ugh. Alrighty then. I've been looking through other articles. Let's see. Don't want that. Don't want that.
We should send Spa.
Oh yeah, Kirby and the Rainbow Cruise. That came out, right? I guess we missed that one from last week. Take a look at that. See if that
Kirby games tend to be fun.
They're fun.
But
They're not
nothing.
usually like terribly challenging unless you're going for like all the bits and pieces and stuff.
Even
But it's
then,
interesting
they're
to note.
not absurd.
Interesting to note is that it's releasing for $40. So, like the treasure tracker, Captain Toad's treasure tracker, which came out for $40.
Is it for Wii U?
Yes.
Might get it.
Apparently GameSpot gave it a 5 and says it's a tiring game. It's taxing without being rewarding, like doing a mile on a stationary bike and discovered you've only burned a few calories from that one bite of your lunch burrito. Frustrating quickly due to repetitive obstacles. There's not much incentive to dig into a game that won't give you the agency. Mediocre romp through a gorgeously detailed world that doesn't give you the control you need as a player. IGN give it an 8. Delightfully charming, unique platformer. World is varied, challenges high. A hand-molded model looks for a remarkable journey. US Gamer gave it a 5 out of 5. As with most Kirby games, may not take you too long to reach a finish line. Mastering every level is entirely different input. Simply put, if you have a Wii U, Rainbow Cruise makes for an essential part of your library. Destructoid gave it a 9. Game Trader gave it a 4. Polygon gives it an 8.5. Apparently GameSpot just doesn't like fun.
Because
That's
it's not a hardcore game for hardcore gamers like me.
Yeah. No fun allowed. Let me take a look at the Metacritic and see what it's sitting at right now. It's sitting at a 75. Yeah, it's better than the Order 1886, which is at 65. Evolve is at 77. So I mean,
Yeah.
what else are we gonna do? Game Informer gave it a 7.75. Giant Bomb give it a 40.
Well.
User reviews give it an 8.0.
So, news to everyone, a or a large Nintendo title is actually pretty good, as usual.
A first-person, huge named Nintendo first-party game is actually pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not groundbreaking or anything.
Well, yeah, it's a
okay.
it's a mainstream Nintendo title. Of course, it's not groundbreaking.
The only groundbreaking thing here is just moving from the DS onto the Wii U, which I'm all in favor of. Please, more of the same.
Yeah.
Not more of the same, but please move DS titles onto the Wii U.
I'm still crying about Monster Hunter 4.
Oh.
Yeah, it feels kind of again, one of those completely retarded decisions to only bring it to the handhelds.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
handheld, where you basically can only play for at least 30-40 minutes. Perfect for casual gaming.
But Monster Hunter isn't. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a casual game to me. It has a lot of those insane high-end stuff you can do and grind, so it doesn't make sense to me.
And
They want you to wear out your
particular times.
3DSs so you buy new ones.
Probably.
Not a game you can just shut off whenever you want mid-mission
No.
and then grab and continue later. You just have to spend at least 30 minutes every time. At least.
Yeah.
That doesn't shout handheld to me, but whatever. Capcom's gonna Capcom.
It's okay. They'll release a definitive edition on the Wii U in like a year or two.
The super.
I really hope
mega,
so. They did really say they were pushing handheld-only games for Monster Hunter, so no more home console.
What about
handheld.
Monster Hunter Tri? Didn't that get released twice?
There's Monster Hunter 3U. I actually got my Wii U with a special bundle with it, and I think it sold pretty well as well.
Yeah, but didn't it get released also as Monster Hunter Tri, and then
3 was for the Wii, and it was like.
And then
3
Tri
years
came out
before
on
that?
the Wii U with multiplayer.
I assure you, 3U has way more content.
Yeah.
It's.
So clearly, Monster Hunter 4 will have a Monster Hunter Quad U and be released with more content on the Wii U.
Ah.
Well, technically, U should already be the final version, just like 3U. But yeah, with Capcom, you never know. Turbo. Just
Max Alpha
Tiger.
3.
Yeah, Z or a Z, as you would.
Oh man. Sorry, I'm looking at more. I'm looking at more Star Citizen stuff.
Anyway, I'll have to say goodbye for now. So
Oh.
have fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
sorry.
keep going.
Have fun,
Apparently,
Apparently.
apparently, using Destiny's, using the PlayStation 4 SharePlay functionality, the feature in theory was designed to allow players who are struggling through an area to virtually pass the controller over to a more experienced gamer to help them out. But one young man, the player who goes by Kuko Knight HD, chronicles in the YouTube video how he used SharePlay to connect to a stranger named Kermit the Frog and expected the user to help him discover a Destiny glitch that would help boost his character. And instead, the character deletes his level 31 Warlock and his level 26 Titan while also zapping an exotic weapon from a third character. And he ends up going into a crying rage. Don't share play with people you don't know.
I think the user in question was also 11 years old, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
My.
this 11-year-old connects to a random guy that says, oh yeah, I can glitch your character for you, and okay, sure, do that. Then
And then
gets
he
control of the
deletes all
account,
of his-
deletes the character, takes the stuff.
Oh god. You learned an important lesson. Don't talk to strangers. This is only more important with the advent of the internet.
Yep.
Oh man, that's awful. I would hate for that to have happened. Not like I've ever been screwed on an eBay bid when I was 13 trying to get Super Smash Brothers for the N64 and he never sent it after we gave him $26.
Clearly, it's time to file a complaint with eBay, like right now.
Like right now, like 13 years later.
13 years later, I want my $26.
Plus interest. Compounded by the minute.
You know what? Send me the game too.
No, I already have the game. Actually, another copy of the game would probably be another $30 or $40 by now.
Yeah.
How much is Smash Brothers? Hold on, let me look up eBay Smash Brothers N64.
Let's find out how much money Six has lost in addition to the $26.
$45 for cartridge only. 50 minutes left, 7 bids on it. 10 bids on $49. Buy it now at $55. Japanese version for $25. 55. 42 with 2 bids on it.
Yeah, you would have a good $60. If only you filed the complaint with eBay.
Yep.
Well, no, because it turns out that guy who did that was already under fire for selling whole Nintendo 64 systems and GameCube systems, like, and not sending them out. So we were a small time compared to like what he was actually trying to. All right, let's keep looking for some more news.
News, you say?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Apparently, a developer indie studio is backing out of games events because of death threats. Apparently.
Yay.
Um,
I mean, boo.
Brianna Wu's indie studio Giant Scape Cat will no longer be attending PAX East. Will not make that choice for the people I work with. After talking with them, I made a decision to prioritize the safety of the employees. Do you think anyone's gonna come in there with a gun and just start like shooting people? Like what?
I don't know.
Like
There's
they
some
have
funky
armed
stuff
security.
surrounding that person, I'll say, but I don't think anything will happen. But that's just another
Well,
way to get
nothing
publicity,
now.
I guess.
Now you guarantee nothing will happen because you're backed out
Yeah.
completely, and now you got all this press coverage that
Yeah.
was going to be better than just showing up at a convention. So you got the press coverage you wanted anyway. Well, that's good for you, I
Way
guess.
to
don't
go,
have to go
Death
there.
Threaders. You got exactly what you wait a minute.
Wait a second. Working a show like PAX means interacting with potentially thousands of strangers for 3 straight days. 2 of the most serious threats against her have come from inside Massachusetts, where she lives.
Maybe
They
they
do not
saw
feel-
that episode of what was that? Hmm. Was like Cold Blooded or something? Some sort of a police show about.
And for some
gamer.
reason, they choose to bring up like comments from Mike Krahulik from like over a year ago, over public comments. Apparently, I don't know why you would bring that up in this, but they added they attempted to reach PAX organizers to voice their security concerns, but apparently 3 calls were left unanswered. Apparently it doesn't feel safe to us. PAX East organizers have since released the following statement regarding security measures. The safety of our attendees, panelists, and exhibitors is the #1 priority of PAX. To achieve this, the show conducts bag searches for all people entering the building, has Boston Police Department in addition to the in-house building security on site for all hours of the show, enforces 6 rules of PAX at every event since the very first PAX. Like, what else are they gonna do? It's like, I don't feel safe there. You've got the police department, showing up. You've got Boston Police Department. You've got bag searches.
Yeah.
And you have rules set up. Like, what? How are you getting angry with PAX? Because you feel that it's not safe, despite them listing all of these safety measures. Like,
Because they don't feel like they're safe. You can't argue with that.
yeah,
can you?
but if you don't feel like you're safe, don't try and take it out on other people. If you think you're not, they responded and said, "Yes, well, we have the police department. We're having police checks. We're having, bag checks, and we've got a rule set up, and we are, this is our security." And
It's like-
apparently, that's just doesn't seem okay to you, I guess. All right,
Come on,
well,
EA thinks they're safe, and everyone hates those guys.
yeah, I'm sure EA gets death threats every fucking day. Holy shit. You'd think there would have been an accident at one of these PAXs by now, if just against like Activision or against Gearbox or something like that. I don't know. All right, enough. We're giving them extra information just by mentioning them at all. Yeah, I don't want to talk about the SVU show. That's just no.
I hear SVU actually plans on going a step further now, and they want to do a episode about the Japanophile weeaboo culture.
Oh,
No,
boy.
that was completely fake. I saw that too. It
Ah,
was completely fake and invented.
That
fake
would've
and
been really
gay.
funny. Oh.
That would have been, yeah. It would be great if people took SVU as a comedy show
Yeah. It'd be pretty
about
decent.
rape, obviously, which would just be rape culture, as we all know. That's not okay. We're gonna back off now. That's not
What?
as.
Aw, that was
Yeah,
funny.
no, we're not gonna talk about this anymore because giving it
Alright.
attention just makes them more validated. Don't worry about it. All right, $250,000 Counter-Strike tournament plans to be the world's largest. We'll take a look and see what the world's largest collection of douchebags maybe,
Or cheaters and hackers.
or hackers and spammers, or actual douches like just on the ground. Feminine hygiene products are just just scattered about. What is this? Oh, we broke a world record. All right. The world's largest Counter-Strike global offensive tournament. Well, that's not hard to do, I don't think. Recently, esports has been plagued by claims of match fixing. We talked about that a couple weeks ago, and Valve was initiating sweeping bans to numerous teams and individuals. So it looks like they've been on top of that. Disgaea 5 to be confirmed for PS4 exclusive. New Danganronpa confirmed for Western Vita release, thanks to NIS America, bringing some more over to the Western audience.
more life for the Vita.
Yay!
Is it worth it
A
yet?
A world record 71-hour speedrun set for Animal Crossing 100%. It's taken me like 5 years to get 100% on Animal Crossing. Wow. And it looks like the very last one was just one of the hidden songs from KK Slider. Twitch streamer 0xa101, Adrian, finished the GameCube version of Animal Crossing in 70 hours and 51 minutes. It's the fastest time anyone's managed to complete the game while following the community set speedrun rules. Many players have finished the game in far less time, in just 37 minutes. That's only to pay off all of the debts, though. What makes this special is it's the first 100% completion. Pay off all debts, collect every item in the game, fill the museum with every piece of art, as well as fish, fossil, and insect. The timer from the run cannot be paused. Adrian stopped playing close to the end of the run for an 8-hour nap, but aside from that, played for nearly 3 days straight.
Damn.
At the time of the running, Adrian is the only person listed under the 100% completion tab for Animal Crossing.
Time to have that for the next Awesome Games Done Quick. You'll be fine.
71 hours of
4 days
Crossing.
of Animal Crossing. Enjoy.
Oh man! Imagine if you didn't take that 8-hour. If you didn't take that 8-hour sleep.
He probably would have died, but
Yeah, it is or her. Yeah, I got that right. Okay. Oh, a pick amp exploit found in Wii U Super Smash Bros. That could ruin the competitive future for Nintendo's new Crossfighter series. Step 1: throw Pikmin, preferably onto someone, or make sure the reflector is in between you and the Pikmin, in this case, make sure they can walk into the reflector. Have player 2 reflect it so that the Pikmin touches the reflector by walking or latching onto them. Using the order tackle custom move, bring the Pikmin back. If they're done at the right timing, you can get almost 100% on your opponent. Note this Pikmin is now busted until it dies, is thrown, or used in a smash attack. Completing these steps gives Olimar several Pikmin he can throw to instantly kill any other fighter. Earlier this week, Williams posted a YouTube video demonstrating the technique, and its discovery has left some professional players upset.
that sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it does. Let me find a...
Pikmin considered top tier fighter. Just chuck Pikmin.
Only against people who have deflection, though.
Yeah. Well.
Whoa!
Whoa.
So you found the video.
Yes.
Just.
I'm gonna post it into chat. Here we go.
Pikmin bodying people.
Yeah. And it does like freaking. It does 1,000.
No.
It does
way.
100.
Oh, okay.
At first. But then you grab and then you throw them, and then it. 101 damage. 91 damage.
1,000 damage. What the shit?
Oh wow.
That's broken.
That's so funny. It just. If they just latch on and they just sit there and do 300% damage. Oh wow. So you throw it onto them, they use the reflector, but you call them back at the same moment that you use the reflector, and then it snaps them back to you, and the next time you throw it, it just does 100 damage. It works on the reflector. Ah. All right, that's pretty funny. Let's keep it going here. We're at 1:30, but it's only been an hour because we started late. How
many characters are reflectors? That's a good question.
2. Falco.
Oh, yeah, and Fox.
Falco and Fox. But there's a reflector item. I wonder if...
So I guess the bug is not that major, but it's pretty big still.
but it's big against one of the biggest.
Yeah, you can just counter those characters fully, I guess, with that glitch.
Well, yeah, Fox and Falco, who are obviously going to be popular characters. Well, actually,
Yeah.
right now it's Sheik and it's I think Palatina and Rosalina. I saw a lot of Ness.
I still hear that Diddy Kong though is top.
Yeah, Diddy
Oh,
Kong is up on the top. Even after they nerfed his ability to carry bananas, you can only use one banana at a time.
you can still do the combo and just spam it. To
Yeah,
high
all the
health.
hoo-has. And there's actual combos in it too. There's actually like
Yeah.
you hit and then you follow up, and those are going to be guaranteed hits every single
Yeah.
time, which is
That's why he's
cool.
kind of really good.
Whereas Sheik, has some punish stuff, but less of that kind of stuff. But Sheik's got that weird back up air kick that can juggle you for a few times. Mario does that too. Mario's a pretty good one. This is funny. So, according to this is one of those professional quote unquote opinions.
Here we go.
According to billionaire investor Mark Cuban, says net neutrality is just a demonization of big companies. There's no evidence that suggests internet providers are guilty of regularly throttling internet access. Have you looked? Seems like you haven't looked.
He probably
Having
hasn't.
having the government oversee the internet scares the shit out of me. It's the only reason everybody seems so happy about the government taking over is because the private market has not done a good job of regulating itself. When the private market doesn't regulate itself well enough, then the government has to come in and make it correct and do what the people want. That's the government's role, is to do what the people want. That's supposed to be the government's role. If the companies all get together and decide they don't want to do that, and it's going to make it awful for people, then the people want there to be regulations put in place. You are so bad at being a company that you make people prefer the government.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's how bad you are. Obviously, the FCC made a list of expectations. They want to move internet over to a Title II class utility, meaning that it's treated the same as like a water bill or electric bill, and is forced to give competitive prices and work on its monopoly era as a utility. It's like something that people need, and I, for one, would love to live in a country where it's expected that no matter where you go, you have decent internet.
Finland.
It would be great. I would love it.
Nah, you wouldn't love it here. It's cold and dark.
But the
as fuck.
problem, and the problem is the companies were given the money to do that, and then they didn't do it, and now they are just effectively screwing over their competitors.
Because why
And
would they do it?
And so now we need the government to step in and say, no, you can't do that. And of course they're gonna fight and complain about it because fucking they won't want anybody to mess with their gig, yo.
Yeah,
And that's why
perfect.
Google is, and like it's such a hard market to break into that it takes somebody like Google to step in and give you free, 10 gigs a second, or you can pay $100 a month and get 100 gigs per second. It's apparently not that hard to do. Like,
No.
apparently
with the
it's not that-
hardware people have nowadays. So you can.
apparently it's not. Google just proved it actually isn't all that expensive.
No, it's probably better in the long run as well because your system is going to run better. It's going to have less problems overall, and it's just going to be better in every
Well,
way.
basically, it's just requiring you to actually do the shit that you promised you would do.
Yeah.
So
That-
fuck.
There's a
you,
lot of
Mark.
cost, obviously, switching the system, and there's going to be a lot of upset about people not having internet in their area as well. This is happening, but it needs to be done. It's infrastructure change.
Yeah, well, it needs to happen, and the companies aren't doing it, which is why the government has to come in and make them do it.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. That's what you're supposed to do. Is when it
Agreed.
gets out of control, then they have to come in and say, no, you can't do that. Because we certainly can't. Ooh, a new strategy analyst says predicts the PS4 to outsell the Xbox One by 40% by 2019,
Oh my.
and says it has the potential around the peak of its life cycle, it has the potential to rival PS2 in Wii numbers. It is on the path to reproduce the success of the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo Wii, which are
Well,
both two most selling consoles. PS2
that's
is at
again
150 million, the Wii at 100 million.
really nice, but currently, if you look
But
at the
where are
top
the
sellers,
games?
go look at the top sellers for PS4 games, and you can see that
I
like
believe
70% of those are remasters or either re-releases, which
I
is
believe
pretty
the
fucking
the
weak.
top seller for the PS4 right now is in fact Bloodborne pre-orders.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, so the PS4 is at 19.1 million according to VG charts. That's a lot for what? How long have they been out now? A year, 2 years, right around there. I guess we're working on. Let's see. PS4 release. I forget now. It's just been such a bland like.
Don't say that. I'm planning on buying one.
Okay, released in
I'd
November
like to buy one.
2013. So in North America and in Europe. So November 2013. So 2014. It's been out for a year and a couple months, and it's already gotten 20 million, nearly 20 million. That's not bad.
Nope.
I mean, the Vita is still at 10 million, not even. The Wii U is at 9.1, so like they're struggling, but they're gonna catch back up to the Vita at any point.
Once Zelda comes out, it's gonna start.
Yeah, well, they've already gotten a nice boost thanks to
Super Smash Bros.
You know, they would have sold at least one more Wii U console if they announced Fatal Frame 5 coming to the West.
Yeah.
Not.
They would have. I would have bought it.
Cares.
I do. I'm the one.
You're the 1%.
Oh, okay.
I'm the one that would have bought the goddamn console if they announced Fatal Frame 5.
I thought you meant
They
1 million.
didn't. So I'm angry.
You don't get to use those hot panties. So
Alright, for the release of Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and the new upcoming Mario Party, and obviously a new Kirby game.
Wait. There's actually a Mario Party coming out?
Yes.
Is it going to have online?
It's Mario Party 10, and it's going to use the amiibos. We know that much.
What? That.
So it
what?
could.
Why?
Potentially.
How? No,
But
wouldn't.
that's kind of really shitty though. Everyone will love the
I'm,
game. but you
I'm
can play
actually
as, you know.
really like. I can understand why amiibos would be used for, say, Super Smash Brothers, but I'm really struggling to understand how amiibos would actually. Would it add extra skins or what?
The Amiibo Party is another new mode in which up to 4 amiibo are involved in special game boards designed specifically for that character with special rules.
Oh, so like Monopoly characters or something. Then
It's like you put it on and you go to the special board and you guys hop around. Yeah, kind of like that. It's like you get your top hat, you get your battleship, you're in a boot.
I guess I know which amiibo I'm gonna get next: the silver dog or the little car.
I always play
Oh,
the
the
top.
car was the best.
I like the top hat.
The top hat is OP.
I remember, didn't Monopoly retire the thimble a while ago?
Did it?
They did?
Like
The thimble?
they changed at least one of the Monopoly pieces to be something else to mark the a change in the times.
I
They
don't
updated
know.
Monopoly
they've-
pieces.
They've swapped some stuff around and they've released like a modern edition, but I don't think it ever completely like caught on to like update.
A modern edition where only black people go to jail. I mean, what?
Why?
I
Why?
don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
if they
know.
released the Monopoly Here and Now edition, which had like everybody had like cards and you'd swipe the thing and then it would like you'd change the money on it and
All right, I'm going to request something from Rockstar that the next GTA update not have heist, but it has GTA Monopoly with special rules for these things to properly reflect the American dream. You can go to
Okay.
jail, but if you're a white American, you can like pay $10 and get out free.
All right, so tokens, the metal tokens, as of 2013.
Oh, those tokens. Okay.
As of 2013, 8 tokens are included in standard games: the wheelbarrow, battleship, race car, a thimble, an old-style shoe or boot, Scotty dog, a top hat, or added in 2013 a cat.
Wait,
Okay,
are you talking about Monopoly or Mario Party now?
Monopoly.
Oh, okay.
You made me curious.
Okay.
They did used to have an iron. They got rid of the iron. They used to have
Because it's
a
a symbol of
howitzer.
sexism.
I remember that. A man on horseback. A sack of money. I used to have that one with a sack of money. I remember that was a special edition. I would love to play as a sack of money. I always do that. They've retired the lantern, the purse, and the rocking horse.
The only ones I ever remember are the hat, the car, and the dog, and the.
I remember the battleship. I remember the car. I knew the thimble. I remember the cannon.
I remember the hat and the thimble because you can put the hat on the thimble and it looks kind of neat.
Oh yeah.
You can use this as a hat.
Remember the iron? The iron would have like the flat piece and then the little handle up, and the handle would always get bent. Like I would. All right, let's.
I remember playing Skyrim Monopoly with Flandre and somebody else, and I ended up breaking one of the rules, and that was the first time Flandre got properly mad. Is that you can't do that?
Skyrim what? That's a thing.
Skyrim Monopoly. It was it was basically Monopoly, but the board was Skyrim places.
You have like locations, and you have different pieces and money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gold coins. I have like
Right.
Nintendo Monopoly. I have Star Wars Monopoly, and I have NFL Monopoly. I don't play Monopoly. I
Isn't
hate
the Nintendo Monopoly the same one that calls Link Zelda?
I don't know. Let me take a look at it.
Because on the box it says like you get a one Zelda character, but you can play as Zelda or something.
Hey, as Zelda, the hero from Legend of Link.
Alright, so this says 6 collectible pewter tokens. Donkey Kong's barrel, Mario's cap, Koopa shell, Link's iron boots, NES controller, and Hylian shield. So, not this one.
Huh. I'm gonna find that image now, 'cause I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it says Link right on the board. It might be a different one. It might be the Zelda specific Monopoly.
I think it says it used to say Zelda's sword, and then they fixed it to say Link's sword. Ah, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it, and you will like it. Why? Oh. There we go.
Yeah, these days Monopoly. I don't play Monopoly. I play. There's actually a cool game called Acquire, where you get this board and it's got like A1, A2, A3, and it's got like B1, B2, B3, and it goes all the way up to it's got tons of space, and then you draw a token. You have like a set of tokens in your hand like Scrabble, and then you pull a token from the bag every turn, and then you put down tokens and you make hotels with them, and then you try and make as big of a hotel as possible. The difference is you can purchase stock in other hotels, and you can buy, and if their hotel does really well, you will also get paid. So as opposed to Monopoly, where you're kind of relying upon the dice bringing you to the right spot and then like purchasing and trading and stuff, you can purchase stock in hotels you think are going to do better than you. So it's kind of an interesting setup. And if you make a big enough hotel and then you go next to a smaller hotel, you buy that hotel out and you swap it around. And so now that's been bought out. And then everybody who has shares in the old hotels can exchange for shares in the new hotel, or they can cash out their shares as part of the buyout. So it's a really fun setup. It's a fun setup. I like it. Let me take a look at this picture. Hold on. Zelda's sword. That's a different Monopoly.
When is Fortune Street going to be put on the Nintendo eStore?
Yeah,
I remember. Speaking of stocks and stuff.
Oh, yeah, buying hotel and yeah.
Absolutely never.
Absolutely never.
Capcom's going to remake it and put it on mobile.
Hold on.
Along with Resident Evil.
I gotta load up this one. Here we go. Tim Schafer is responding to the backlash against Peter Molyneux. So, as we all know, Peter Molyneux was working on Goddess and was working on and he we talked about it and said how the guy who won the Curiosity thing so far hasn't been paid a single penny. They haven't contacted him. They haven't been like in touch with him at all. And like he recently came out and said, I found out I need to just stop talking to the media because they take everything I say and like hold me to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
I'm
shit.
summarizing, obviously.
Yeah,
I'm paraphrasing, but
It's funny because like when he said that, I was kind of like, yeah, okay. And then I heard about the interview or whatever he had with Rock Paper Shotgun, who apparently like they fucked up quite badly because like in response, Notch was like, yeah, remind me never to have an interview with or to deal with Rock Paper Shotgun again. So it's kind of like a little bit column A, a little bit column B. As much as I dislike Peter Molyneux for the things he's tried to promise, I don't want to force a guy out. I don't want to force the guy out of the industry. Yeah, he has worked on some decent stuff.
He's not Phil Fish. He doesn't need to be forced out of the industry entirely.
Well,
I don't know. Is it
name the last
like
good game he
know.
made.
like the goddamn genre doesn't exist.
Fable was pretty decent. What's that strategy game? Black and White. Black and White was alright. Black and White 2 was.
Those were
quite
still like
Well,
10 years ago.
good. And
Oh yes.
Well, how long ago was Half-Life 2 Episode 3 supposed to come out?
That's a fucking good point. Half-Life 2 was like, it's probably getting on nearly as long as Duke Nukem Forever. That Episode 3 is supposed to have been out.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
okay. So Molyneux is a latest addition to a long list of developers who have made promises on Kickstarter that have not materialized. Last Tuesday, he explained to GameSpot he's unsure whether some of the features in Kickstarter Goddess would ever roll out to the backers. And a day later, it emerged the player he initially promised a life-changing prize to has received absolutely nothing. Failed promises are down to naturally occurring development problems or declining interest in Molyneux's team and development team over at 22 Cans. It's a matter of debate, but some fans have nevertheless contacted the developer directly to complain, which he says have turned into personal attacks.
It's funny because most people contact him on a mobile phone because he tweeted somebody with his actual phone number in public. Those are people. I actually did tweet him. Not tweet him. Text him using an online messaging thing, and I did get a response back. It was hilarious. I asked like, "What the hell is Microsoft doing with Fable? Why are they milking it so much?" And I got a response saying, "Because they need money, I guess." I have the response. Oh, where is it?
Saved to your phone because that's from motherfucking Peter Molyneux.
Yeah.
Said people have threatened me. They've threatened my family. It cannot go on. And it said in an interview with The Guardian. Later that day, it emerged that PC Publications' Rock Paper Shotgun had also interviewed him, opening with the question, "Do you think that you're a pathological liar?" What?
Wow,
Shots fired and fired hard.
That's.
Whoa.
Yeah,
All right.
I thought I hated games media. Before and after that, I'm just like, yeah. No,
It's so weird because like they cause such a huge fuss when it happens to a female, and everybody blames Molyneux when it happens to him. What? Where is that?
Fucking mental.
That is mental. Oh my gosh. All right. So, the treatment of Molyneux in that interview was criticized by professionals in the industry. Sorry. There's some readers that felt that considering Goddess was funded on promises that were not kept, the interview approach was tough but fair. Tim Schafer responds to the whole nightmare from Molyneux, issued a statement in his most recent video blog. He says, "I'd like to send our support to our friend and fellow developer Peter Molyneux. In the last few weeks, we've had some extremely rough treatment of Peter on the internet and from the games press, and I think it's really unfortunate and unfair, and I don't think it's healthy. Obviously, things did not go as expected with his game, and because of that, people are making some nasty accusations about Peter, and I can really relate to that. I'm not saying that developers like Peter and I should not be held accountable for deadlines."
The thing is like
I'm saying that the reaction to recent events and the tone of the reaction is way out of proportion in the seriousness of the events
I'm pretty sure
themselves.
Tim Schafer joked about fucking not being able to get what was
Oh
it,
yeah.
Broken
Oh, yeah,
Age and that out.
Well, 'cause he had an
Oh,
issue with deadlines when he was working on what was it? Brutal Legend.
Fuck.
He got
And
moved. He got
space
moved from
space
publisher to
something.
publisher to publisher because he wouldn't keep up with the deadlines and what they were wanting from him. And then when it finally did get released, they sued him.
Hey, do you know what's funny? Bobby
What's
Kotick
funny?
was right.
Tell me what's funny.
Bobby Kotick was right.
That's pretty funny. Man, I saw Moneyball the other day, and Bobby Kotick was playing the guy who's like owns the Athletic A's and something. That was a bit wild. um, anyway, okay. So the problems that Peter's having are not unique to him. In fact, they happen to many, if not most, projects.
I delay my projects all the time.
there was somebody on Twitter.
The problem is,
said,
I
like,
didn't get paid $400,000 to do my project. I'm doing it for free.
Using my Phil Fish shit posting account, I posted like, "Oh, I'm gonna cancel going to PAX, not because I'm getting threatened or anything, just because I like canceling stuff."
Nice. All right. So I shouldn't be shopping on Amazon. I'm supposed to be doing a show. All right. Okay. Let's look at some more news. Shadow of Mordor's final DLC, epic showdown against Sauron. Interesting.
There we go. I found the reply from Molyneux. I have to upload it.
All right. PlayStation 4's Deep Down is not canceled, according to Yoshinori Ono, but changes are afoot. He says, we're thinking about showing something that looks completely different. Capcom's been quiet about Deep Down for a while now. Some believe that it's been canceled. I think they said the same thing about Last Guardian. I think the reason they said that they are...
Didn't something happen with the like the copyright or something with Last Guardian?
The trademark did not get renewed, is what happened to it. So people assumed, oh, that means it's like they don't care about it. It's canceling.
Well, I mean, which
and then they called in to say like, why did you do that and just let it happen if it's not canceled? Oh
yeah.
no!
It's like the Russian.
A leaked gold Mario amiibo is supposedly Walmart exclusive. Oh no! They've learned. Caught on. They understand the exclusivity.
Please understand.
Yeah. Please understand. No, I gotta get it.
Give a shit about amiibos.
Please understand. Yeah. All right. So let's keep looking for more news. I think we're running out.
You know what would have been cooler instead of amiibos if they packed stuff into like, I don't know, cereal or chocolate bars or something like that, where it's like cards that you could then read, like Barco Battler.
Sure. That'd be cool. I like that.
Yeah. So you get super rare ones that are like 1 million hit points or something.
I'd be down with the Nintendo trading card game.
Yeah.
I could get my entire Xenoblade deck.
Yeah. Not only can you actually use it like in the playground, you can go home and use it on your Wii U or something.
Oh, yeah, get a card reader for whatever, and then
they did that.
Have
back in the day. Okay, hold on. All right, so let's back up. Game Boy Advance is out, right? You've got the e-reader. You plug the giant black cartridge with a card swiper through it, and you bought Pokemon cards, and Pokemon cards had little dot matrices on them, and you would matrices, and you'd slide the card through the e-reader, and it would say you need to find these other cards, Pokemon trading cards, and you'd have to swipe all of them, and when all of them are swiped in a row, you would play a little mini game out of them. It would be like you have to have a Pichu rare card, and then you'd have to have a Hoppip, a common card. So presumably you'd open a pack, you get a Hoppip, and you swipe it, and you would realize, oh, this needs a Pichu card, which is rare. Let me buy tons more packages of randomized Pokemon cards, and then you select the Pichu, and then you play this little game where Pichu's hopping up and down around Hoppets.
There was also a thing where you put cards through for Animal Crossing.
Yes, Animal Crossing
we're linked up to the GameCube.
All right.
Yes, you hooked up. You'd have to buy the special Game Boy Advance to GameCube adapter, which they were giving. They were with Four Swords Adventures, and you had to hook it up there, and then you would transfer over little figurines and things that you could get into the game.
So here's what I propose Nintendo do. Here's what I propose Nintendo do. Like, keep the amiibo idea, but release amiibos for every title on their e-store, and have the game that the amiibo is from be included with the card.
The issue, obviously, is you need to have them popular enough, and you can't spend all this money to make an amiibo for a game that's not going to sell millions of copies.
I just mean, like, you have...
So that's why you have the Mario unlock the Mario and Luigi costumes in Monster Hunter.
I mean... Make a NES amiibo, say, and have the amiibo come with a copy of Earthbound that he will activate when you have the Wii U scan his amiibo thingy.
That would be interesting, but it's, I think, $15 for Earthbound.
That's $15 for an amiibo. Why not?
That's cheaper, though.
It's
more
funny,
expensive than amiibo. If it's $10, I would do that. I would just buy the NES thing and then unlocks Earthbound. That's kind of cool.
Dude, I paid less than like $2-3 for a copy of Earthbound in Japan.
I paid $5 for a copy of Valkyrie Profile.
Yeah.
Some Japanese games are obviously more popular than had more copies made.
Yeah.
Apparently, Paranautical Activity Atonement Edition is published on Valve's platform following the IP sale to a new publisher. Alright, so Paranatural Activity, a roguelike FPS that was removed from Steam after one of its developers publicly threatened to kill Gabe Newell, has reappeared. A special Atonement Edition emerged on Steam.
Is that the one where it's just all apology?
I support this naming decision.
That's a Nirvana song, all apologies. Well, Atonement Edition obviously was for a reason. Code Avarice sold the IP to publisher Digerati.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Okay, so Code Avarice sold the IP to publisher Digerati.
So you almost sounded like you were trying to say a Cromartie High character.
Digerati?
After it trades publishers, it shows back up on Steam. Said this is probably not hugely surprising to some of you, but Mike couldn't commit to his decision to leave Code Avarice, publicly denouncing his departure. In the weeks following his official stepping down, Mike had second thoughts. Yeah. It looked like an interesting game, and I hope it works out okay. But fuck that guy. You don't threaten to kill the current Jesus of video games.
You threaten to crucify it. Wait, what?
Yeah, there you go.
I was reading up an English artist the other day who went to Thailand or something to experience a crucifixion. And it's like how mental have you got to be to have to get somebody to nail you to a fucking cross?
Well, them religious.
That art, man.
Them religious people.
Yeah, ooh. I'm not super.
I'm not down with the crucifixion. I mean, I would rather not I would rather not have it done to myself. Other people may be different,
It was a bit much. I'll go that far. I'll say it was a bit much. I think we could have toned it down a bit. Didn't have to be that bad. It's we did the same thing about Hitler. It's like let's say too many. Let's say he killed. Can we at least agree on that? There's no moderation. Too many were killed. Whereas Ray Charles, hardly any Jews were killed. Like hardly any at all. That's a
Almost
CK
none.
CK Lewis joke. It was pretty funny. All right, let's move along.
I saw a picture of Steve Irwin poking an angel. That's funny.
Oh my god, go touch it!
I'm gonna stick my thumb up his ass.
All right. Last Guardian still in development as rumors have following the abandoned trademark.
Fake.
Following the publication of the story, Sony has since filed for a petition to revive the abandoned trademark application. That's good. The trademark in the U.S. was apparently abandoned, but this appears to due to an administrative error at PlayStation America, and Sony has confirmed to GameStop that the project is still in development. According to documentation from the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the group sent Sony a notice last year informing that the trademark needed to be extended, and that Sony has, since 2013, habitually extended the game's trademark, made no action following the most recent request. As such, it was canceled. Amid speculation for what it means to be protracted and a troubled project, Sony has told it can confirm it is still in development.
Yeah, so blame Sarah, the secretary. Oh, it's an administrative error. Fucking Sarah at the reception didn't bother.
Thanks, Sarah. That was
Thanks,
Greg.
Sarah.
Thanks, Greg.
It's like all those times that PSN got hacked and credit card information got stolen and all that sort of thing. It's like, oh yeah, it's just an administrative error. We didn't set the SSL configuration because Rebecca in IT is a dumb slut or something.
No,
Yeah, you know,
no,
it's just like
it's because they pay the least bidder to try and cover for security.
What do you mean
Wasn't it-
pay? We hire interns.
It's
Was it-
cheapest
was it-
people to do the minimum amount of effort that is enough for us to say yes, we have security in place. That's the
was
real
it-
reason.
wasn't it Penny Arcade that made a comment as like, oh yeah, should we put like better security on this thing? It's like, oh yeah, I know just the guys. And it's like basically a pile of people's information. It's like security provided by Gorka. Because Gorka had something similar. Well, all the user accounts got leaked and that. Yeah,
I remember that.
it was basically just a pile of paper like in an alley somewhere with a sign saying "Do not touch."
Or we will report you. Alrighty, it's past the mark. It's 10 minutes past the mark, even for. All right, so
There's
we've
one
covered most
other thing of news I can think of. I
Everyone
mentioned
can-
Valkyrie Profile earlier, and Valkyrie Profile 3, the dream is pretty much dead. Tri-Ace is no longer part of Square Enix. It has been sold to a mobile game company. So all of the Tri-Ace titles, they're not going to be working on anymore. I think Square Enix still holds the rights to Valkyrie Profile and everything, but like they're going to do anything with that. But yeah, that's also something that happened this past week.
Interesting. So that's not really news. All right, not gonna worry too much about that. So basically, Aonoma came out and said he disagrees with the description "open world" for Zelda, but the reason he's disagreeing is because he says every time we've made a Zelda game, it's been technically open world, but only as open as like our hardware will allow us to do. So yes, every single Zelda that we do pushes the boundary of how open of a world that we can make. So it's really just the next step. It's not like it's switching from some sort of like linear Zelda to like an open world exploration.
Yeah, you could totally do the water temple before the fire temple. It's open world in Ocarina of Time.
No, but that's what he's saying. He's like,
Yeah.
I have this open, you have this world, and it's open, and you can go from place to place, and you can find out I can't quite get there yet, and you can walk back. Like, but that's why he disagrees with the term "open world" being applied to his new game. It's because they make it open, and you can wander around and stuff. But actually, you know what? Link Between Worlds, you could go to anybody you want because you would rent items from the shopkeeper, and then whatever item you had was you'd go to the temple that corresponded with that item, and you would go beat that temple. So that was actually a non-linear. Apart from like the first one, you had to clear just to get like through the tutorial mission. Tutorial fight. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So I will cut it for there then. Do you have any V2 news? Any updates?
The website is still down. If you haven't noticed.
Oh, gee,
yeah,
really?
Who'd have thought? But we are still trying to get a hold of Moo, and we're going to be moving to a new server and everything. So hopefully everything will be back online soon.
There's also a lot more interest with people wanting to actually do work on the site. Like Kudo, you mentioned he was interested. Black Up and Blaze definitely interested. I'd be interested in doing stuff for it.
And I think. I also think I'm going to try to put more stuff on the YouTube channel. So if anyone has any recordings that they want me to upload, I'll be putting those up there if you send me them somehow. This newscast will also be posted on the V2 YouTube immediately after this. So yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's being recorded now, guys. Got to be more professional.
Well,
we're fucked.
we keep end talk away from you then. Yeah, we need enough non-sweaty ball talk.
I guess I'll have to put my pants on while I'm streaming this.
I think Spycrab is about as much as we can handle. All right, so this is going to be online available. It's almost like we're a real blog or a real newscast or something like that.
I got to add something to that when you mentioned my name. I was in a pet shop earlier. I just squeaked one of the squeaky balls next to one of the female staff members. Just started going, hey.
How did she respond to that?
I think she kicked me out. I'm not sure.
I kind of lost track. I was too busy having fun.
Yeah, I did look at one of the snake toys for dogs and start going like. No, I was interested in the bearded dragons.
Oh, I also other last bit of V2 news.
Yelled Puffy Volva. Who said that?
Let me see. Puffy Volva. Anyway, I would also like V2 streamers that aren't able to actively stream as much, if you would consider writing reviews of the things that you are playing and responses and more things that we could post on a blog as soon as that gets back online. When it gets back online, and it will.
We've got a step plan here. We've got step 1, get the website up and working again. Step 2, we need more content, and then step 3, get these streams online, and then step 4, advertise the place. So.
And step 5.
We got a step plan.
Step 5 is question mark. Step 6 though is profit.
Yes.
Yes. Obviously, we need to eventually profit off of this. Well, no.
Yeah. I am looking.
That's true as well. That's true as well. Fat Loot. I would say we'll have to consider that.
Yeah.
Just fat right off.
Fat off, man.
All right.
Yeah, I'm looking into doing more content like serious reviews. Yeah, so like serious reviews. I want to get in on that, and I'm going to do more mayor reviews as well. Where it's just like. Yeah, the mayor reviews where I completely bullshit about the game. Like, I called Payday 2 a typing simulator, or a typing game like Travis Beacon teaches typing or something. And like,
I'd actually I'd play Payday 2, the typing game. Like every time the drill goes down, just have to type fucking drill.
Fucking yes.
All right. So Lowell, what are you playing? Video games.
Oh, I'm making progress in Lightning Returns. I'm getting close, I hope, to beating that goddamn game. Like, the gameplay is fine, the graphics are fine, the music is really unfitting, but good. Like, it's all good music, but, like, why am I in a desert area listening to this one guy sing a folk song? Why is that a thing? I don't know. I don't even understand what he's saying, but it's a thing.
It's a thing.
That sounds
it's no Gerudo Valley, though. But the story almost ruins everything. It feels like it should not have been anything related to Final Fantasy 13. Just throw some other character with some other plot, and it would have been so much better and more acceptable. Other than that, after having finally beat Super Mario 64, and speaking of that content thing, I think I wanted to start a new sort of series of streams of me versus your childhood. So, like, when I was growing up, I did not have any of them that were video game consoles. My first console was a PS1, and the first game I had on that was, like, Twisted Metal 3. And I went from there. So, like, I've never played a Metroid, I've never played the early Star Foxes,
Can you
never...
do me a favour?
Yeah?
If you're going to play childhood games, don't play Monkey Island. I will find you and cut your balls off.
I've actually played through Monkey Island. That one, I got to do the remake of it. So I have played that one, but like Star Fox, all of the Zeldas before Link's Awakening, all of these childhood games that people finally remember, I have no experience of whatsoever. So I feel like it could be interesting watching me try and fail as
I did
bad
that
as I did with
for a bit.
Super Mario 64.
I had a PS2. I had a PS2 for a bit, and I have on a PS3. I have like Devil May Cry collection, Splinter Cell collection, Sly Cooper collection, like Tomb Raider collection. I've got all this stuff, and like I've never played any of them, so it's gonna be funny to see people that like yelling and screaming at me for not knowing. Like, oh, everybody knows this. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm playing.
I've had
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've had that playing. Was it Spy Fox the other day? Just playing like Go Fish, and I was just absolutely awful at it because it's like that was the first sort of time I've heard of Go Fish.
I swear that pig was cheating.
Yeah, like everyone was like, "Oh, but you could have beaten him." And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know how to play Go Fish. Never fucking played this game.
I want to start a series of that, and then to promote more V2 stuff, I'll post those on the YouTube as well, because I think people like watching people fail on YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It'll be a better solution than copying out and overreacting and pretending I'm mentally disabled when I'm playing
cool.
things.
All right.
Well,
Crap, what are you playing?
I've recently just installed Murdered Soul Suspect, which I bought from the Square Enix Humble Bundle. I'll play that in a bit. Quite frankly, what I'm streaming is a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. It's whatever I fancy playing. I'm not going to do anything fancy because right at this moment I'm going through some issues where something happened on Friday which kind of upset me, and yesterday my motorbike got stolen, so I've had to spend time fixing that up and getting ready for work. So yeah.
That sounds like a ball and a half. Good time.
Yeah.
Ritbong land.
Yeah.
Okay, soon he'll be in Japan.
Yeah. I'm in like a week and a half. I'll be in glorious Nippon. So then after that, I'm gonna go try for my.
Then everything will be better.
Yeah.
We'll make sure that Ted won't stream. It won't be hard.
To be honest,
Otherwise a tsunami will happen again.
if a tsunami happens and takes me out, I'd probably be happier. To be honest.
All right. It'll be all right. Because that way it wouldn't have been a suicide. It wouldn't be like, you're not like, oh, like I'm depressed and stuff. It would just be a horrible accident, and it would be fine. Like.
Yeah, you won't have to worry about being in here or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And then you won't have to come to the harrowing conclusion of whether or not Greece pulls out of the euro. Like.
To be honest, I've completely forgotten about Greece. I've completely forgotten that it's a thing.
I don't know anybody that cares.
What does Tom Cruise has to do with the euro?
Every once in a while. Oh, it's John Travolta. What are you?
They look alike. I can't tell white people apart.
John Travolta and Tom Cruise? No.
All you white folk
John
look the
Travolta's
same to me.
Fat now. Have you seen him? In a Pulp Fiction. He's fat.
Isn't he into Scientology still?
Tom Cruise is, sure. Alright, anyway. Me. I had to get a new hard drive. This one finally actually completely bugged out and crashed on me. I remember I had to reformat everything a couple months ago. That should have been my first clue that it was starting to go bad. So I'm on a new hard drive, so I've lost all my old recordings, all of my old shit, and
Well, how am I gonna do the YouTube channel now, Six? God.
because I'm gonna make new stuff.
Oh,
Now that I
okay.
have a hard drive. Okay, well, first of all, next week's gonna be PAX, so obviously I'm not trying not to spend money so that I can go all balls to the wall at PAX. I might get a cool graphics card at PAX too. That might be cool. Then a week after that, so not this weekend, but so this weekend a friend's visiting me, and I will probably it's not PAX weekend, so I might do the newscast next week, but I'll have a friend over, so we'll have to see about that. The week after that is then PAX, and then the week after that is when I get paid again, and I will get computer parts, and I will fix it up, and then I'll be actually streaming. As far as what I'm actually doing, I bought Majora's Mask 3DS. I've been blazing through that because it's the same game.
It's almost as though you've played it before.
Yeah, exactly. The boss fights are different. They have
3D.
they take a little bit. I have actually been playing with the 3D slider on. It's been really cool, and it hasn't actually been a problem. I wish I had the new 3DS XL, and then they would have the head tracking, and it wouldn't be a problem at all. But it's been pretty okay so far. I'd like to see a bigger screen, but we're playing on that. So I've been playing Majora's Mask 3D. I've beaten the 3 temples. I've gotten a ton of masks. What else did I play? Let me hop up on my Wario Land 2. I finished on the 3DS as a little downloadable game. Deadlight I finished on Steam. That was like a Xbox Live Arcade title that made its way over to Steam.
Is that the one where you play Randall something, whatever his fucking name is?
You play this guy who's like you don't start off with it. You give your gun to the other guys and they run away and you have to hold off zombies for a bit. And it starts off as kind of a little bit of platforming, and it's a 2D side scroller.
Oh yeah, I played that and it was fairly broken, to be honest. It was
It wasn't great. I wouldn't say that. It's kind of bland by now, especially. It's all right though. I think I got it for like $1 or something, or like in one of those bundle packs or something like that. So I don't really care. But it's beaten and it's been taken off my backlog. Yay!
That backlog.
That backlog. I'm up to 82.2% unfinished. And I'm trying to get that down below 80. But when you have 1,500 games, it's like
You got
It's tough.
1,500? Jesus.
50, according to my backloggery, 1,582 total games.
Oh,
Nine-
right. Okay,
900
no, I thought you meant just on Steam, because I got like 650 on
No,
Steam.
on Steam, my backlog lists 912 on Steam. My actual Steam account says, I'm gonna pull that up real quick. I think it says something like 880. But that's because I get those bundles, and it's like you pay $3 and you get 14 games, and I load them all up, and then I never play them.
Yeah. I've had to create the ride never ends category where I've put things like where I've put things like Erectus Digraph, Gravity, Audio Surf, Beat Hazard. I've also got Broken Age in there since that's never going to be finished, and like Rocksmith.
Actually, the Tim Schafer article mentioned that he was close to finishing part 2, apparently.
Part 2 will be soon.
Fucking, yeah, it better be
That's
fucking
what
good.
I'm-
'Cause he owes
that's
me
what I'm
that,
up to. So,
fucker.
I guess that's the end of the...
Yeah.
guess
Yeah,
that's the end of
Jorm
the
had
show.
to leave
Right.
and Herp had to leave.
And
So-
then I joined about halfway through.
Yeah, well, all right, that's it. So, thanks for tuning in. So, on behalf of myself, Six Axis, and Lone Spy Crab, and Herp Derp, and whoever else, Yormagander, who had to really.
That guy that sounds
thanks
like
for tuning
Mario.
Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. I'll probably be here. I'm sure he'll be understanding because it's only going to be like an hour and a half, 2 hours or something. He might want to listen in behind the scenes anyway. I'll have him add in a little something. Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned all week. We're gonna play video games. We've got a plan for bringing V2 back to the top, and yeah, things can only get better. I think we've hit pretty close to bottom.
Yeah.
All right, see ya. Bye. And cut. Take it away, Lon.
Everything's coming up, Millhouse.